Hello everybody, my name is Lucia. Welcome back to my channel. As you all know, my name is Lucia since that username on my YouTube channel or my YouTube profile or whatever you want to call it is name is Lucia, so you know that's what it is. Today's video is going to be about the one, the only Pride Month. So this video is not going to be focusing on all of the amazing times that I had. I am going to be releasing a video very, very soon, probably in the next week or two, focusing on all the amazing experiences that I had during Pride Month, what Pride Month means to me in particular, and yeah, just a very good positive overview of the entire month of this June and just Pride month in general. This video, however, is going to be focusing on some of the bad, I guess you could say, experiences that I had during Pride Month. So this isn't a video that I'm making to make anyone feel bad for me or anything like that. That's not what my goal here is. My goal here is just to show awareness that homophobia, transphobia, those things are not over. I feel like people think that they're in the past, you have gay marriage now, move on. But no, stuff still happens, and stuff happens so often that is so horrible to so many people. And I recognize my privilege too, in that I am very privileged, in the stuff that I've experienced on a scale compared to some of the stuff that other people experience really is not that bad, but it's still not acceptable, and I still want to talk about that. So here we are today. So the first day of Pride Month, June 1st, I ended up going out with my friends to celebrate. I said that I was celebrating Pride Month, but it wasn't actually a Pride party or anything, but I still went out and everything. We ended up going out as well. While we were out, I actually had a lot of fun. I had my makeup done. Everything was perfect. I saw a lot of amazing people, had a great time. The issue was when we were actually leaving to I was leaving to go back home. And a whole bunch of things happened just like that, over and one after another, and it just really, really got to me. Especially it being, the first day of Pride Month. I really was not expecting anything to happen to me. So yeah, that was a little upsetting for me, of course. So what happened was I went outside, and I was with friends too. I wasn't alone, so don't be victim blaming or something and be like, oh my God, why were you outside alone? No, I literally had friends with me, no issue. It's no issue there. So I'm outside and I'm waiting for my ride. And this guy walks up to me in a big group too. So there's a group of people, and this guy walks over from the group. He's like, hey, he's like, how's your night going or something? And I was like, oh, it's good. How's yours? And then he's like, oh my God, you're a queer. And I'm someone who I don't get offended by the word queer. I'm a person who uses the word queer. I describe myself as queer, I say that I am a queer person. So I don't really think of it usually as an insult per se, but I do know that it has been historically or in the past and still today, in this example, it's been used as a slur, and I'm not okay with that, obviously. And it still hurt me though, because I was like, this person was not using it in a way that would be oh my God, are you queer? I'm queer. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. It was 100% oh my God, you're a queer. So that was not fun. And thank goodness he just walked away and continued on with his night. And I, was able to continue on with mine. Directly after, literally maybe 5 minutes later, I'm still waiting outside. And this truck drives by full of guys, and I'm assuming here, this is a very big assumption, so I don't want to, I want to disclose that this is an assumption, but I'm guessing that everyone in that truck was cis, male, heterosexual, all the above. I could just tell that the way that they were acting too, that they obviously were not educated on LGBTQ people. Of course, not all heterosexual cisgender men are bad. That's not what I'm saying either. But I'm just saying, it's definitely people who are very, very privileged and were literally essentially looking to just harass me because they knew that I was different from them. And they started screaming out the window, saying, you faggot, sorry, I don't know if I should say that word, but that's what they were calling me. You know what I mean? I'm not someone who usually really uses that word unless it's in terms of taking it back, because in my city, that's the word that people go to, is the F word, not the T word, which I find kind of interesting because I am transgender. I'm not gay, so I don't know why people call me the F word, but that's just what people call me on the regular. So yeah, and it's definitely used as a slur. It's not used as any way whatsoever as in a positive way. So yeah, so once again, I'm not just using that word in a bad way or anything. Like, literally, that's just what I get called in my city all the time. And I was like out, like, I used to identify as gay in the past too, and I was called out a lot back then as well. So just hearing that word again and again and again really gets to you. So I was kind of scared though, you know, like a truck full of like big strong men literally drives by and is screaming the F word at me, and I'm literally not okay with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously I'm kind of scared, I'm nervous, I'm also with my friends, so it's like almost embarrassing too, like all that. Like, I don't want to ruin anyone's night, I don't want my night to be ruined, I don't want to ruin their night, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to keep the peace, whatever. So they continue driving, thank the Lord again, like, I'm like, oh my god, amazing, like, it's over with. But I was still obviously hurt by it. Right after that, then another truck comes by, and I'm not entirely sure if it was the same truck. My friends and I both kind of agree that it was the same truck in the terms of like the trucks looked similar / the same. Like, keep in mind it was dark. Like, I wasn't really like the first time, like when someone yells something at you, like I'm not like what kind of truck is that? And also I have zero education on trucks. Like, I know nothing about trucks. But the fact that another truck drove by literally maybe like a minute or two later, and they were also screaming at me, I, of course, was like, oh my goodness, they're back. Like, that's when my heart stopped, because I was like, they came back for me. Like, they literally came back for me. And I was literally shaking. And they started screaming my dead name at me. If you don't know what a dead name is, it's like the name that I had, or a transgender or whoever, like, person has, like, before they, like, changed their name, if that makes sense. Like, the name that they were given at birth, that's a good way to say it. The name that they were given at birth is like what a dead name is when you like change your name. So my dead name, like, I'm open about it, like, I don't care, most people know anyways, whatever, is Lucas. So, and I, you know, like, I don't mind hearing the name Lucas, like, you know, no big deal. But when people are screaming it at you in public, multiple people, it gets kind of scary. So they rolled down their window and they were like, Luke, like, they were making sure that they were gonna say Lucas. They were like, Lucas, like, how's your night? Like, Lucas, like, all this stuff. And I know that it wasn't, they were just like asking me how my night was. Like, I know that's not the case. Like, I'm, you know, I'm over it at this point. And I screamed back at them. And that's honestly, I was so scared, because after I said it, I was like, ooh, like, what if they fight me? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, because this truck slowed down this time. Like, they were like slow, like, they were like by me. They weren't just like driving by this time. And I was like, oh, my name's actually Lucia. And they were like, oh, I'm sorry, Lucia, like, da-da-da, whatever. So, end of that story. They drove away. The embarrassing part about that, too, is that my dad had to witness that, because my dad was the one picking me up that night, and my dad was actually, he arrived there right at that time. So, right before I was, like, getting into his car, that's when that happened. And I'm just like, oh, my God, like, why did you have to do that, number one, in front of my family, my friends? Like, why are you doing this to me? You're really hurting me. Whatever. And it does get to you. You know, like, it does get to me a lot. So then I ended up having like really big like breakdowns because of it, in a way. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but like, as everyone knows, I have really bad mental health. You know, my anxiety is super bad, my depression's really bad. I am on meds for it and everything. I'm doing my best to like keep myself together, but it's not always that easy, you know, especially when you're being harassed for being who you are. Like, I don't feel safe in this city. I don't feel loved in the city. And I'm not saying I don't feel safe and loved around like my friends and family, because they're amazing people. I'm talking about the overall atmosphere and dynamic of the city. I definitely don't think that I am accepted or loved in terms of the overall experience of this city. And it's really scary, because, you know, like, trans women get murdered and killed like every single day. And like, I'm like, if people are like, you know what I mean? Like, it's scary. Like, every time someone confronts me in a negative way in terms of my gender / like sexuality, it's kind of scary, you know? So that's just like my point of view from that. So then I go home and I told all my friends, like, you know, like, oh, I'm fine, like, everything's good, like, thanks for checking in, because they're amazing friends and they always check in, so shout out to my friends. And yeah, so I like played it off like everything was okay. And I think I was just lying to myself, even. Like, I was trying to make myself believe that everything was okay and that I'm bigger than this. I even like tweeted something, you can go back and check if you want to, and I said something along the lines of like, no one can like hurt me, like, or something like, no one can get to me, like, I'm me, like, all that good stuff, basically making it seem like, you know, like, I'm gonna stick up for myself in this situation. So obviously I was lying, you know, like, that stuff does get to me, and I'm not gonna lie about it. You know, I am strong and I am like definitely like looking out for myself, but it does get to me. Sorry, it's really hot in this car right now. I'm like sweating, as you can see probably. So then, after time went on, I got really depressed about it and really anxious about it. And I think I went into crisis, which is a really scary thing. I actually genuinely went into crisis. And I've never really, okay, I shouldn't say never, I have been in crisis before, but I've never like gotten help for crisis, if that makes sense. Like I've never been in crisis and like actually got help for it. And this was a time when I was like, no, I need help. I was acting in ways that weren't myself. I was very, very distressed. I was mad at myself. I hated myself. I was like embarrassed of myself, like all this stuff. This was just past month. Like this was during June. And so I ended up going to the hospital for it, because I was scaring myself and I was scaring my friends. My friends were scared for me too. So I went to like crisis at our hospital here and I got some help there, which was very nice. And I got some more resources and everything. So I'm very grateful for that experience. I was very nervous to go. I have this very big fear of going to the hospital for mental health because I've heard a lot of horror stories, especially with me being trans. I don't know how I would be treated, but I was actually treated very well. Just to clarify, I did not go to the emerge. I did not go to like the ER or whatever. I went to like, they actually have like a crisis like intervention, I guess, like counseling like center thing at the hospital that you can go and use when you need it. It is for people in crisis, so it's not like just for people to go and like vent or something, but I literally was in crisis and I went, and I didn't go right away too. Like it took a couple days for me to be like, I need to go get help. So I went and got help. Everything was good. But not everything was actually still good. I don't want to say everything was good because it wasn't good, but I just mean like everything was, I was, you know, like I don't want anyone on the other side of the screen to be worried about me. Like I'm good now in terms of that, but that doesn't mean that everything that happened was okay. So the moral of the story is that homophobia and transphobia, it still exists, it's still around, it is scary, it is terrifying, and it is not okay, and it very much impacts me and affects me. And I'm gonna continue working on it, like, not affecting me, but that is so hard to do. I just wanted to be so, like, honestly, like, you know, literally just honest about the situation because it's been a really hard month for me, and I'm proud of myself, too, for getting through it. And so, yeah, I love you all. I know this was, like, honestly not a happy story at all, but yeah, I love you all so much. And if anyone ever is going through similar things as this, please, like, reach out to me. If you don't have anyone else to reach out to, like, I'm here for you. I promise you, I will stick up for you. I'll do everything in my power to make sure that you're okay. And I can also help you connect to resources if you need resources to get the help that you need. So yeah, so thank you everyone for listening. Once again, this was not like a bashing video or an exposing video. I purposely did not use any names. I do want to clarify that one of the people actually who were in the truck, they direct messaged me. I did know a couple of them, especially from my friends, because they were like, oh, this is who was in the truck. Like, I recognize them, like, da whatever. So I'm not going to say names, but one person actually did message me, and they told me that, sorry, I'm literally sweating. I'm like drenched and I have to go out, so it's going to be like awkward. But yeah, so they actually apologized and they told me like their intentions, and I know that they were lying. I'm not going to lie. Like, I know that they were lying. They told me that their intentions were good, which I have no idea how on earth those were good intentions, but I'm just gonna, you know, like, I gave them the benefit of the doubt, even though, like, I actually didn't. But, like, I was just, like, I wasn't being fake or anything, but I just didn't want conflict because, like, these people literally scare me. So I'm like, yeah, like, thanks for apologizing, like, whatever, you know? And it does take a lot to apologize. So I did, like, give them credit for that. So yeah, so I do want to put that part out there that one of the people actually did like attempt to, I guess, like, make things right. So that's good. So anyways, love you all so much. I hope this stuff never happens to you, and I hope you are having an amazing day. I love you so much, and bye. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe too, you know, subscribe, like the video, whatever. I love you. Bye.